So first of all, I would like to say thank you for an interview. I was told that giving interviews is not one of your favorite hobbies because it's not very productive. But I appreciate that you are here, and I see it as a little trade against the sofa upstairs that you take 15 minutes of your time here. So when we went skiing last year, one of my friends asked me, who didn't know you, what is this guy doing? He's always on the phone. So I explained to him, Oliver is doing a little bit what I do, but he's doing it much, much better. So of course I wanted to ask you, since the Zalando days, first of all, what drives you? This is an amazing, I wouldn't call it marathon, because you're actually sprinting pretty much every day since I know you. What is driving you?
I think we believe ultimately that it's an extremely unique opportunity we've been given. And I think everyone who's at the age of maybe like 18 and 40, maybe 45 included, basically I think is sitting at an opportunity like, in California it was the gold rush. After the war everything was destroyed and you had new opportunities. When in the late 90s and 1900s, kind of the steam engine and so on. I think this internet is like the steam engine, and either you really take all the stakes now and you really kind of say, I want to be and win in this market and win in this category, etc., or basically you're missing, I think, our biggest opportunity. Let's be very honest. I think if you are 25 and you decide to go for the banking industry, for the insurance industry, for the retail industry, I don't get it. If you're 25, you should go into the internet industry. I think, and that's what I like. And I think we liked it at 22, we liked it at 27, we liked it at 32, and I hope we like it also at 65.
So when I look at your activities over the last 10 years, or actually 15 years, you have obviously been called many names. No one debated one thing. You guys have been extremely successful, and I believe in terms of entrepreneurship, it's probably the best what Europe has seen for a very, very long time. And you have obviously copied a lot of models or replicated the business models in Germany. But more recently, I guess, with the foundation of Zalando, you realized that there's truly one big objective: building global companies in the e-commerce space. Why is that? Do you see retail as the largest opportunity to disrupt?
So, as in my first, as in the first answer, we say internet is our industry, is the industry of the people 25 to 40. Second, if you look at the macro perspective, in every sector, in every economy, maybe apart from some commodity-based economies like Saudi, retail is the biggest sector. And I do not believe that the retail dollars will go from Marks & Spencer offline to Marks & Spencer online. But I believe they go from Marks & Spencer offline to Zalando. They will go from Topshop to Zalando and a little bit of ASOS. And kind of like, that's the way I look at it. I think those retail dollars, those are trillions of dollars. And I say, maybe it's not the sexiest industry. Maybe it's sexier to be 200 people in New York and do a global communication startups. But honestly, every 5 years we have a new global communication company, market leading. In e-commerce, I don't see that in general merchandise, Amazon is going to lose its position in America and Europe. I don't see that a company like Zalando is going to lose its position. And ultimately, I would say it's the most long-term, least subject to change industry, because I don't believe in 10 years people are going to beam their products. It's still going to be delivered by DHL, it's still going to come out of warehouse, you still need to buy products and so on. And so ultimately, it is the biggest, and it won't change for the next 20 years.
So when Bezos took Amazon public, he was asked, what's the percentage share of online retail in percent of total retail? And the IPO of Amazon happened a long time ago, and he made actually an interesting prediction. He said by the year, I think 2014, we will have a 14% of the online retails accounting for the entire retail market. I believe it was meant to be the US. This number is quite close. Now, you started really kicking the engine on the retail side all over the globe on the online space, online retail. I think like 1 or 2 years ago, where you started to branch out. What's your prediction, be in the shoes of Bezos today, in kind of 10 years going on? What is going to be the share of online, of total retail?
The good thing is we don't spend a single second on that.
Okay.
It's big enough. It's just bloody big enough. Yeah, I can become, or like the companies can become a $50 billion company, $10 billion, $150 billion. It's just big enough. It's just kind of like people, you know, investment bankers like you, you're on the better side, but you know, analysts and all those people, they spend so much time on how big is this and how this and what's the penetration, and I'm asked by any investor kind of what's my 17 forecast, my 2027. I mean, those are entrepreneurs, nobody knows. It's just big enough. You just need to sit in a company and you need to like it, internet, and you need to decide if it's e-commerce or marketplace or mobile or whatever, and then just go. And kind of like if investors ask those questions, you might give them an answer, yeah? And so for us, who the fuck should I know this? Yeah, I mean, how should I know this? Yeah, and what I see usually, like in the beginning, kind of the plan is like that, then it goes a little lower, but then at the end, it gets big enough. And my ultimate belief is, I always ask myself the following: if I were a king of a country, and you know, I could do everything from scratch again, like you know, in the Middle East, for example, yeah, so one of sheikhs, yeah, yeah, I mean, they can do really everything. Then I would do the following: I would have no more shopping malls. Just one big distribution center. Everyone gets delivered like video on demand, yeah, by your TV and so on. You just product by demand. And they just have, in the shopping malls, they just entertainment. The skiing, you know, in Dubai, they have the skiing and the Ferrari, yeah. So the girls can look at the products, but they can only buy at home or mobile and so on, yeah. Why stores? Stores, apart from looking and being a little entertained, yeah, I see no value. Who wants to carry something home if you can order it? Yeah? Who wants to kind of like go back for return if you can just give it back? Yeah? I don't see what's the value. Why should I go into a store? Tell me, like we now turn it around so I can ask some questions. Why should I go in a store apart from looking? They're bringing
That's
the
a
stuff
lot,
home.
looking.
What? Yeah, looking.
That's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, but then it's fine looking. Then kind of like, okay, either take the barcode and buy it in Zalando or on Amazon or something, but you don't have to carry it home. Why all this thing? Why Christmas shopping so stressful? Do it online and enjoy the candlelights and the ice skating and all the stuff you have in London, yeah. But and look, yeah, get inspired. Inspirational shopping, yeah. Inspiration stores are there to inspire and to entertain, but not to buy.
Okay, so first of all, let me summarize. Oliver says the size doesn't matter, it's going to be big enough. And obviously that's true for a lot of your business you set up, so I give him the benefit of the doubt. Next question. When you roll out your businesses globally, and your point is on building companies global, yesterday we had an interview with Alex, who told us how to do it and how not to do it. You're going to some really interesting countries. Can you name some of the emerging markets you're operating in right now? On the e-commerce side?
Oh, e-commerce. Pakistan.
How's that?
Exciting. So what we find, you know, life is everywhere the same, yeah? Meaning people want, in most countries, clothes, yeah? So people are not running around naked. People Mostly, yeah, in most markets. But basically, it's again, the question is like, how big it is in 2027? How difficult is there? It is like Germany plus 20% difficult, yeah? Meaning, of course, maybe in the very beginning, I can't send my the capital that I need for the business, but I need to carry cash. Maybe I need to build my own last mile delivery. So basically, here I give the product to DHL. In Brazil, I give it to 6 different providers because one is good in the north and one is good in the south. And in Pakistan, I deliver it with my own people. But I always say a good entrepreneur, maybe we didn't get the prize for the highest innovation, but what does it matter? In the end, we are entrepreneurs who say whatever it takes. If it takes to kind of like build our own last mile, to basically build a post, I'm ready to build a Pakistani post, yeah? So why not? 7 years ago, we had not a single idea about e-commerce. 15 years ago, I never had any idea about internet, yeah? In the end, it's the industry, everyone in this room, everyone at high school, everyone at university is born into. Luckily, the adults are out of it, or let's say the older people, 50 plus, 45 plus, and everything what is needed, we do. And that can be building warehouses, building last mile, bringing in cash into country. I remember when we started in certain countries, we always go in a country on tourist visas. BT, or I don't know, Google goes with business visas, yeah? But just to get a business visa might take 3 months. So I remember the times when some kind of police was visiting our offices, and we just all worked from home that day. Yeah, so it was all empty, only locals.
That's why we don't have offices, by the way.
Yeah, and so kind of all this, I think ultimately you have to be super pragmatic and not spend time on what if, etc. Too much in general, people think of what's the problem, what's the challenge. And I think really for internationalization, every country is the same. I just would say in China, I stay out because Jack Ma is not waiting for anyone. Yeah.
So talking a little bit about how to do it, and building global companies is the topic of the session. We learned yesterday a lot about where to hire people from, bring from home, etc. When I speak to your critics, and some of your critics say, these guys just copy. I say, no, they invented one big thing. Apart from execution and best practice and getting it done by working harder, they have actually discovered that television is a key driver and sometimes really the main mean to take off a business. And you developed in Germany, I guess together with ProSiebenSat.1, some very innovative advertising strategies when it comes to driving your e-commerce sales. Does this model work outside Germany as well? How do you advertise?
So we have the following view. All marketing works. It just depends kind of on your customer acquisition price. Yeah? So if I buy billboards cheap enough, I get billboards to work. If I buy cheap print advertising, it works. If I do a good spot and I put the right timing around it, TV can work. So in the end, we are very unemotional about the marketing side. We decide. The good thing is, I would have never gone into internet if it was like an advertising agency, all kind of beautiful guys, girls just talking, yeah? So instead, I like it, it's all about data, and that's a good thing. I mean, who cares if you come look at the customer acquisition cost, where the customer came from? In the end, it's this funnel, yeah? He came from there, I paid that much, he clicked that much, he returned that much, the lifetime of this customer is that much, and that would say, I'm willing to buy that many more customers on TV, I'm willing to buy that many more on Google keyword X, Epsilon, whatever, ABC, I'm willing to go to a conference to do PR, what is my cost, does it work? And obviously the CAC for this conference is very high for me. Yeah. So for end consumers, maybe for investors it's low. Yeah.
So Oliver, okay. By the way, you told me not to be tough on you. You're very tough on me.
No, I'm not. I'm here because I think it's a very good conference, and it's one of the very few business-oriented where kind of one can make business.
That's good.
Yeah?
That's good.
And not just talking.
That's good. Let's continue talking. Business later. Yesterday we had Outfittery on stage. And, we do this NOAH thing now the 5th year, and rarely I see businesses where I say, wow, they really cracked it, yeah? And I think Stefan Glänzer also said, all these guys coming out of Rocket are amazing. I mean, you have not only built, obviously, a global conglomerate of lots of interesting internet businesses, but you have created, I would call it kind of an internet academy, right? And not everyone in this room has the luck or the opportunity to work or come through Rocket at some stage of their careers. You obviously have done a lot of things right. Is there like one single advice you would like to give all the young rising stars here in the audience when they do their daily jobs as internet CEOs?
First of all, I don't think we are in a position to really give a lot of advice. Yeah, I mean, there are many much more successful at this conference than others. I think what we are and what maybe can serve as a piece of advice, we are probably within the internet the most normal, meaning you have the really Georgia Tech, etc., Silicon Valley, super kind of entrepreneurs. I think maybe we are one kind of like, I'm normal, I can still build a reasonably successful company. And what is it? It's this killer, not this killer application, it is this killer cocktail. Hard work, not taking no as an answer, not spending too much time at conferences, basically not talking too much to the press, going for big ideas, thinking not only of return but also risk. You know, everyone always thinks kind of like, yeah, if I build the biggest online pet food company, it's going to be that big, or when social community for pets or something, everything gets big, or everything will be worth a lot if it's big. But the question is like, is the risk, is that really the best use of my time? Is that the best idea for me in the next 4 or 5 years? And I think that together with kind of like 15, 25 other things, that is how we operate, yeah. And I think that's the way we look at the next 10 years also, yeah. And I think, you know, in the very beginning, I remember in 22, when we sold our first company to eBay, we thought the founders were walking on water. We thought Americans kind of like are different kind of superhumans in internet. Luckily, we were impressed. We were too impressed. We were impressed. Now we respect. And one day, kind of like, we want that they respect us.
I think they do respect you. Sometimes they even buy your businesses. So that's the best proof of respect. How many people are working for your organization, all the companies you guys are involved in? You gave the number to me a few months ago, and I almost fell off the chair. How many thousands are working for your businesses?
So since we don't see it that way, and we see it more as a galaxy of different companies, but I think probably if you would add it up, it's somewhere like, I'm not into numbers, yeah? So basically maybe like
more than
20,
here in the room.
Yeah, something like 25,000 or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
So,
but remember, Amazon is 98 or 95. You still have a long way to go, and they're growing. Yeah, and but in the end, you know, that's not the way we look at it. Everything is a boat, and I think that's why we don't make comments on individual companies. The companies are run by those people. The way we run it is, we might have an advice, and we say like, I think it's really stupid what you do there. And I think the smart guys listen, and the not so smart guys say, yeah, he's too old, I know it better.
Okay. Now, looking back, what was the one thing you did you really regret?
Selling too early. Our single largest mistake was we sold too early. Our very first business, an eBay kind of business, is today still eBay's biggest market in Germany. Jumbo was sold to Murdoch for double the price. Our companies represented 15% of Groupon's gross profit they represented, like 15% of gross profit of Groupon when I sold it. 2 years ago, they represented 60%. So why we are not selling right now? Because that's our biggest mistake. We are lawyers' sons, and we probably got too much of this lawyer's risk aversion. And now we understood that internet is a marathon of sprints, and I think the best time for internet on any one of your company is coming, I think, not tomorrow and not in 5 years. And even though you're angry at yourself because you did a mistake today and you feel the competition did not, the reality is competition does even more mistakes. Yeah, the others do even slower. yeah, more mistakes, etc. So even if you have a very realistic view on yourself and you look self-critical that we didn't do right and this is a threat, most other people have even more threats, yeah? And so I think what we learned is maybe confidence that many of you or other people in America at least have. They just go and go and go and go. And I think we see sometimes, or we saw in the past maybe the risks too much. And now we try to see very few risks. We just say kind of we go and go, and we need investors who believe like us that internet is going to be the dominating force. And when my grandchildren look in 2300 or what number that is called, look back, the internet look at the steam engine, and that hopefully maybe one day I even make it to some Wikipedia or history book.
Oliver, this time I say thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, and I wish you a successful NOAH conference.
Thank you very much. Ciao.